Two bank robberies. Same small American town. Same ghost-like suspect who walks in, takes the cash, and vanishes, leaving almost no trace. Local police are confused. The FBI isn't even sure who they're really looking for. But on the third robbery, same town, same style, same man. Only this time, he doesn't just face bank tellers and security cameras. He faces the one unit that shows up when everything else has failed. SWAT. A quiet weekday morning. A small-town bank. An armed robber inside. Outside blocked roads, sniper positions, a tactical team ready to move. Today on Obscured Crimes, we're telling the story of how one man's greed, desperation, and overconfidence turned his third bank robbery into the biggest mistake of his life. Welcome back to Obscured Crimes, the channel where we dive into the darkest corners of real crime, not to glorify it, but to understand it. Today's story is a case-inspired reconstruction. Some names, locations, and details have been changed for privacy and safety, but the psychology, the tactics, and the consequences are very real. If you're into detailed, realistic breakdowns of cases like this, consider subscribing so you don't miss the next video. Let's get into it. August 15th, 10:27 a.m., a quiet Midwestern town we'll call Riverton. Outside Riverton Community Bank, a black SUV brakes hard at the curb. The driver grips the steering wheel so tight his knuckles turn white, trying to convince himself, just this one last time. I do this right, and everything will be fine. He pulls a ski mask over his face, a handgun in his right hand. With his left, he pushes open the bank's glass door. Inside, just a handful of customers. But the panic that's about to follow, that's off the charts. He shouts, "Everybody on the ground." Nobody moves, nobody plays hero, and you walk out of here alive. Behind a counter, a terrified teller hits a silent alarm. And with that single press of a button, a chain reaction begins. Minutes later, radio calls are going out across the city. Armed robbery in progress. Possible repeat offender. SWAT requested. But how did it get this far? Why SWAT? Why now? Because this wasn't his first robbery. This was his third. To understand how we got here, we have to go back 2 months. In the official records, this man is known as Ethan Ward. Early 30s. Average height. Average build. The kind of face you'd pass on the street and forget a second later. In a town like Riverton, Ethan looked like just another working-class guy. Part-time mechanic, occasional construction shifts. Behind on bills, drowning in credit card debt. The turning point started with something very modern, very common, online gambling. It began with small bets. Then bigger ones. One lucky streak, followed by a brutal crash. In a single night, Ethan racked up almost $20,000 in debt. Debt collectors started calling. Deadlines, threats. You pay, or we come find you. Ethan felt cornered. In his mind, he had 3 options. Work himself to death for years, to pay it off, run away, and start over somewhere else, or take a shortcut. He chose the third option. He chose crime. The first robbery was so smooth it barely looked like a crime. To the police, it was just a mystery man with a clean exit. Date: June 3rd. Location: a small branch of First National Bank in Riverton. 9:15 a.m., the bank has just opened. 2 customers, 3 tellers. One security guard more interested in his phone than anything happening around him. Ethan walks in looking normal. Baseball cap, sunglasses, a basic surgical face mask, no drama. No shouting. He hands a teller a piece of paper on the note. "This is a robbery. I have a gun. Empty your drawer into a bag. Don't press any alarms. If you do anything stupid, you die first." The teller's face goes pale. The guard doesn't even notice what's happening. It just looks like a quiet conversation at the counter. In under 2 minutes, Ethan walks out with about $8,000 in cash. He doesn't run. He doesn't look around nervously. He just walks out, gets into his SUV, and disappears onto the highway. By the time the guard realizes something is wrong, Ethan is already gone. Police review the CCTV. No clear face, no usable fingerprints, no solid plate number, official status. Under investigation? Reality? A dead end. That first success did something dangerous to Ethan's mind. He started thinking, this isn't that hard. The cops are slow. I'm smarter. I can beat the system. Overconfidence. It's the beginning of the end for a lot of criminals. Just 4 weeks later, on July 1st, Ethan plans his second robbery. New target: Riverton Savings and Loan. This time he ups the stakes. Hoodie instead of a cap. Mask again and the handgun clearly visible in his hand. He walks in and raises his voice this time. Nobody move! This is a robbery. The silent alarm is pressed again. Customers scream. Phones come out. People are crying, ducking, panicking. But Ethan knows something now. It takes at least 4 to 5 minutes for police to respond. In under 3 minutes, he makes off with around $15,000 in cash. By the time the first squad car arrives, he's already off the main road, cutting through side streets. But this time, he makes a small mistake. A traffic camera outside the bank catches part of his SUV's license plate. Now the case stops looking like a one-off incident and starts looking like a serial offender in the making. That's when the FBI starts paying attention. 2 armed robberies. 1 small town. Same general description, same calm in and out, same type of vehicle. FBI analysts compare the footage. Similar height and body type, similar movements, similar black SUV. To them, this doesn't look like some random local punk. This looks like a developing pattern. They pass on a warning to local law enforcement. If there's a third incident, treat the suspect as armed, experienced, and extremely dangerous. Emergency tactical response is authorized. In simple terms, if he hits a third bank, it's not just patrol cars rolling up, SWAT will be ready. Back to August 15th, 10:27 a.m. Riverton Community Bank, the same morning we opened with. Ethan thinks he's got it all figured out. Weekday morning, fewer customers. Same style of quick in-and-out robbery, grab some cash, pay off part of the debt, disappear again. What he doesn't know is this. He's not an unknown ghost anymore. He's flagged as a dangerous repeat offender. The moment that silent alarm goes off, the dispatcher's screen lights up with a warning. Riverton Community Bank. Possible repeat robber from prior incidents. Suspect considered armed and dangerous. SWAT advised. Within minutes, roads around the bank are blocked. Multiple patrol cars set up a perimeter. The city's SWAT team gets the call. Armed robbery in progress. Possible hostage situation. Deploy. This is no longer a normal robbery. This is a critical incident. Inside the bank, Ethan is running his old playbook. Get in. Control the room. Get the cash. Get out in under 3 minutes. But this time, something unexpected happens. A middle-aged customer, shaking and terrified, suddenly bolts toward the door, trying to escape. Reflexively, Ethan whips the gun toward him and shouts, "Get back! I said, get on the ground! You move again and I'll shoot." In that split second, everything changes. That man isn't just a random customer anymore. He's now legally a hostage. On the police radios, the language updates instantly. Armed robbery becomes hostage situation. That changes everything. It changes the rules of engagement. It changes the risks. And it changes how SWAT is allowed to respond. Inside, tellers are sobbing. Customers are lying face down on the floor. Someone is quietly praying. And all of it is being captured in real time by security cameras. Outside, the scene looks like something out of a movie, but for the people inside, it's a nightmare. Armored vehicles roll up, black uniforms, ballistic helmets, rifles, shields. The SWAT commander quickly sets up a plan. 2 snipers on a rooftop across the street, an entry team stacked near a side entrance, a trained negotiator at the front with a loudspeaker, ready to establish contact. Their first goal is simple but critical. No one dies. The negotiator's calm voice cuts through the air. "Ethan, listen to me. We don't want anyone to get hurt. This doesn't have to end badly. Put the gun down, and we can talk." Inside, for the first time, Ethan begins to understand. He's not walking out of here the way he did before. There's no easy exit. He grabs one of the hostages, drags him closer to the front window, and shouts back, "I'm serious. If you come in here, someone gets shot." For SWAT, the situation just went from dangerous to critical. The negotiator keeps his voice calm, steady, predictable. "Ethan, I know you're under pressure. I know you think this is your only option. But hurting someone will destroy any chance you have of walking away from this with your life intact." In Ethan's head, 3 thoughts are on a collision course. The debt collector's threats, the fear of spending his life in prison, and a desperate, unrealistic hope that he can somehow still escape. Minutes drag on. And the longer it goes, the more dangerous it gets. Inside the bank, the air feels heavier. The hum of the air conditioning, muffled sobs, Ethan's shaky breathing, it all blends into one suffocating silence. At one point, overwhelmed, Ethan fires a warning shot into the ceiling. Screams echo through the bank. Dust falls from the tiles. Outside, snipers tighten their grip on their rifles. The SWAT commander knows, one wrong move now and they may be forced to take a lethal shot. He's balancing two paths. Keep negotiating and hope Ethan calms down. Or prepare for a forced entry if Ethan starts hurting hostages. The clock is ticking. Then the negotiator plays his strongest card, not with threats but with reality. Ethan, listen carefully. Your first 2 robberies? No one got hurt. Today, if you shoot someone, this isn't just your 3rd robbery anymore. This becomes attempted murder, or even murder. That means you don't just get a long sentence, you lose everything. You still have a chance right now to decide how this story ends. That hits him. Up until now, in Ethan's mind, he wasn't a monster. He didn't see himself as a killer, just a desperate man doing desperate things. He realizes, the second he pulls that trigger on a person, there's no going back, no plea deals, no second chances. The room goes quiet, hostages hold their breath. Even SWAT holds for a moment, then slowly... Ethan lowers the gun. He raises his hands. And he shouts, "I'm coming out, don't shoot!" The front door of the bank opens. First, a white cloth is slowly pushed out, a universal sign of surrender. Then Ethan steps out. No mask, hands raised high. He's left the gun on the floor inside. SWAT moves in fast. They order him to the ground, handcuff him, search him, and pull him back behind cover. Inside, the hostage rescue team sweeps the bank. One by one, the hostages are led out, shaken, crying, but alive. No one is dead. A few people are slightly injured from the chaos, the panic, the scramble to the floor. But there are no bodies. The town exhales. For everyone outside, it's relief. For Ethan, it's the end of his freedom. The investigation moves quickly. Ballistics, camera footage, vehicle records, everything lines up. The partial license plate links to Ethan's SUV. Surveillance from all 3 banks shows the same build, same movements, under pressure and faced with evidence. Ethan eventually confesses. The charges stack up. 3 counts of bank robbery, 1 count of hostage-taking, multiple counts of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon in court. Ethan doesn't have much to say. He sits there, a quiet figure in a jumpsuit, while lawyers argue over years and statutes. When the judge finally delivers the sentence, it's heavy. 35 years in federal prison, with no possibility of parole before 28 years. In that moment, every quick job, every easy score, every just 3 minutes and I'm out flashes back through his mind. 3 short crimes, each lasting mere minutes. The price? 3 decades behind bars. There was no criminal mastermind in this story, no flawless heist, no genius-level planning. Just a desperate man who thought he was smarter than the system, and who let greed and panic drive every decision. We saw how a simple financial problem spiraled into serious crime. 1 successful robbery made the second feel easier, and the third triggered the full force of law enforcement, SWAT included. SWAT teams are not called because something is cool or cinematic. They're called when lives are on the line, when the margin for error is 0. This video doesn't exist to make Ethan look bold or impressive. It exists to remind us that shortcuts are almost always the most expensive path you can take. If you found this breakdown of the Riverton robber useful and eye-opening, hit that like button and subscribe to Obscured Crimes for more deep-dive case analyses. Tell us in the comments, do you want to see more hostage negotiation cases? Serial robbers? Or obscure crimes that barely made the headlines but should have? I'm your host, and this was Obscured Crimes. Stay safe and remember, behind every crime is a choice, and sometimes that choice costs a lifetime.